Voswin, they're doing exactly the same as what the Open are doing, are they, Ray?
That's right, exactly the same draw. So this is 3 blocks again. We've just seen that in the last round. It's 3, 14, 11. The difference here is that we have the first block is the slot switcher. So you can see here you have one person that's doing the spinning there on block 3, but they are actually taking the outside center slot now for block 14. There we go, and the same for block 11. So now we can just see end of the 3. That puts that person now on the outside or point slot of the formation. So the difficulty with this is that obviously you have to learn how to fly the block that we're seeing now being closed in a different orientation, but also you will be seeing different pictures, and you have to have the memory or to actually be able to memorize that. Also with this one, additionally, which makes it a bit trickier, is it's only the front piece that are slot switching. The back piece stay as they should be. There's no switching for the back piece, which means that every single time you come round and you're seeing something, you're seeing a different picture on every page, which can make it quite difficult and tricky for the brain.
We were talking about the blocks a little bit earlier, about these moves, how a lot of the times it's 2 pieces spinning around 360. That was one of the different types of blocks at number 14, where everybody's spinning individually, doing a turn and a half, what we call 540 degrees.
That's correct. There's Debbie there from NFTO. These girls look pretty happy at the moment with the team dynamic and how it's working. Our UK outdoor team. And the scores are coming in very slowly for round 6.
Very good morning to Elizabeth, who's just joined us on the live stream. I was down with her in Seville at the Christmas Boogie. A great time that was. Here we go, the British team.
A bit sticky for Debs to come in there, but she managed to get through, and they start at the top of that block. There's block 11. Not one of my favourite blocks, blocks 11, on the front piece. I've never really enjoyed it very much, solely because I always feel like I'm fighting with my my flyer. So here, this is block 11, and you can tell it's a lot of some vertical movement. You need the front piece to lift above the back piece.
Falls on.
Here we go. There you can see it now.
Yeah.
It does feel like a bit of a fight. It's not the smoothest block in the world.
Is that because you've got one person going forwards and one person going backwards?
Yeah,
It makes it a bit tricky for the move?
Exactly. So it's trying to turn this compress here over another piece, and you just want to make it work and to make it happen. But it is an act of finesse, which we're going to see later for those really trained teams.
So you'll see it again in a moment. You've got one pair that are linked together at the arm and the knee, and the other pair, which have got an easier move, they're just linked together with 2 arms. We'll see that now. Explain it a little bit, the difference there, Ray, if we can.
Exactly. So this is block 11. This is the 3rd block that we'll be seeing. And you can see that we'll have a look, see how the French girls execute. They're getting ready for their entrance.
Everybody's watching around the world on the live stream. A very good morning and welcome to Ampura Brava in Spain. The sun is up. It's a beautiful start.
There we go. There's the 3. You see the point flyer. This is block 14. There's that. Everybody does that 540.
Yeah.
This is block 11 here. And the French girls making it look a little bit easier than NFTO did, not as sticky. Slightly different technique and probably better trained at getting this over. There we go.
You can see that piece there that are connected to what we call a compressed piece. Look how they move. They're not staying stationary. It moves across the tunnel. Here it is.
They're walking it across the tunnel in a 90-degree format.
There you go, moving around. It's good to see with the tunnel how that centre moves, isn't it?
Exactly. And I had it explained to me many times by certain coaches, block 11 is just moving it 90 degrees around the corner. I'm like, might sound very easy, but these things are actually quite difficult to fly, especially when, you want the piece to move and you can see, you have different visuals to the person you're flying the piece with, and you want it to go a certain way and they want it to go a certain way. Sometimes you just end up fighting with each other, and that's what training's all about.
So that's the female category done. Here comes the open category on the competition. Have we got a few seconds to talk about why we have a female category and an open category, Ray?
We do.
Tell us about that.
I think it was one of those things that there was a female category. So originally when competitions first started up, there was this thought about strength and getting more female participation into the sport.
Yeah.
to try and make sure that they could compete at a certain level. And it was found that you wanted people of the same body shape, size to compete together. And a female category was born, which ran alongside the open category, where you did have men and women competing together on similar teams. And it was a good way, an entryway of another form of getting girls and women to participate in the sport, get them to compete at a top level, and the category generally just grew. There's a lot of conversation right now whether it's needed, whether female flyers are any stronger or weaker than their male counterparts. I think it comes down to a lot of, you get two different schools of thought. I've competed on a female team before, and I've also competed in open teams as well. It's not necessarily about physicality, it's probably more about accessibility and how you can get into the sport.
Right. So it continues. There's always a little bit of a debate bubbling in the background about whether we should have a female category.
So that was Los Baristos we've just seen in the tunnel. So we're getting some of the scores through for round 6. Now Los Baristos scored a 13 on round 6. Triple blocker is always going to be a bit tough. I mean, we're talking about the female category. The French girls are often vying. They would, I think, currently be in fourth place in the open leaderboard. NFTA would probably be about 9th or 10th place on the open leaderboard. So again, it's you can see why it's more accessible to have that female category, but physicality wise, the girls are there with the boys, so it is possible. In the tunnel at the moment we have Bear Force. I do like their name, very good name. They got 11 on round 6. This again is another working dive for all those teams out there. Air Force.
Just coming up on 25 past 8, Ray, here in Pure Bravo. The sun is rising up. It's a beautiful day outside. It was cold and windy yesterday. It looks like the weather's turning.
Yeah, it's birds are still struggling outside, Regan, but at least it's sunny. But it's been a bit chilly. Wind that comes in from the mountains, I believe.
Yeah, called the Tramontana.
So next in, I believe this is the team. Herbivores Annecy Pamiers. Or is this Les Four Cretin? I can't tell at the moment. Okay, so block 11. We've seen some of the other teams verting that block 11, and this team are just shearing it or cogging it. They're not taking the vertical move. And there you go. That's the only problem with the cogging that back and front piece. You can get your knees stuck together, which they had on that final 11, block 11.
Very good morning to everybody watching on the live stream right now. I think we had about 50,000 individual views yesterday on the live stream. That's pretty good numbers, eh?
Getting ready into the tunnel is Team Barak from Spain. They scored 14 on round 6. They're currently on just under a 22 average. Nice close above block 11. So for everybody at home, we have, after this round, on round 7 for the formation skydiving, we will have a very nippy round 8, but so we have 4 randoms and a block, but it's a slot switching block, block 10. And let's have a look at what we will see. We could see a variety of engineering for round 8, which I'm quite excited about. not the nicest randoms in the world. And then we have another 2 blocks and a random for round 9, and 2 blocks and 2 randoms for round 10. So we're not going to have the fastest rounds today. We had those yesterday for rounds 4 and 5. Nice slow-mo there, block 11. So it was Les Four Cretins we saw earlier. Now we have the Herbivores Annecy Pamier. They scored 13 on round 6. You can tell the bottom end of the leaderboard, people are around anywhere between the 11 to 14 mark. Not much in it points-wise, as it was a triple blocker. So you move up the leaderboard, we'll see people move into that 14 to 18 bracket. And then at the top, we should be seeing teams flying in probably about 22 to 24 from the top teams. Close of top of block 3.
Thank you. So Ray, I'm just by the side of the tunnel right now, and chatting to a few of the people that are here. The parents are here, the Voss Win girls, and Monica's here, one of the parents. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you enjoying the competition?
Yeah, very much.
It must be great, and you must be feeling very proud to see your girls compete.
Very, very proud. Yeah, they are looking great and doing great, so fun.
Are you from a skydiving background? Or?
I have actually 20 jumps.
And you do a bit of tunnel as well?
One time. So.
Good. Monica, thanks very much for your time. We appreciate your words. Enjoy the rest of the day.
So Vosvin girls, all of the parents are here representing the girls, making sure that they're in good hands and get the support that they need. We forget sometimes with the formation skydiving teams that their parents are around as well to help and support them, as we see, of course, from the freestyle and the dynamic flyers, the kids that are flying in the competition. Go Papaya. I believe this is Papaya Mixto. We had an interview with them yesterday on the couch. They are just formed as a team. Have only probably done about 6 hours of flying together, so they're learning things as they go.
And Ray, I'm just here now with our Italian friend, Mr. Fataroso, one of the swoop freestyle competitors, his brother as well. I never knew he was a four-way guy. He can turn fast, eh?
Oh, yeah.
You do a bit of four-way yourself as well?
Yes, we start both in a same four-way team, then Mario just keep going, and me and just focusing on the swoop.
Thank you very much. Armando Fataruso working down in Seville, always good. Thanks very much.
Ciao, la dolce vita.
Dolce vita. Back to you, Ray Ahmed in the studio.
Next in, we have Team Odin Parachute System. Be interesting to see how these guys have gone. They got 16 on round 6. Just 1 point behind Excel and Tenanin on 17. These guys are super impressive. They're fast flyers. Unfortunately, they got another bust on round 6 on the 7th point for an incorrect formation. And I did say this might potentially happen. They really need to show the grips, this team. And this is Team Odin Parachute System. They're still smiling, which is great to see. I think they might have actually listened to what I had to say and slowed it down a little bit, following the previous round. But I'm super excited to see what they can do in the future. Next in, a little caress of the back there, making sure nobody's going anywhere. This is IFS Moscow in the tunnel. Nice entrance into the tunnel. I prefer launching a 3 into a tunnel than I do out of an aircraft. I've hit the back of an aircraft a few times on a 3 exit. These guys are showing us how it's launched well into a wind tunnel. I haven't seen any the Russian team, the IFS Moscow, have been flying really well. No mistakes, just getting on with their job. Great technique that they're showing us every time. Not going ballistic, just doing what they need to do as team flyers. Block 14, which is in this round, is one of those blocks where you need to fly those 540s at a team speed. Doesn't matter how fast you fly them individually. At the end of the day, you need to make sure you come back together at the end of the block. So it's really important that you fly at team speed.
It's good stuff, Ray. We started at, about an hour and a half ago, didn't we?
I think so. Feels like a few hours. Yeah, we get there an hour and a half ago. The sun's up now. Hopefully beating down into the studio. Get a bit of heat into the day. Next in, the Pajama Pumas. Score for round 6 isn't up yet. Oh yes, it is. They got 10 on round 6. It's pretty good considering that they have not done the senior category yet. This is their first time doing the AAA. They did get 2 busts on that round though, and again it's that close of the 21 to the 13 where you're not showing enough separation, which I did talk through the round.
It's nice to see 1 or 2 teams from the UK travelling outside the borders, Ray. We don't get as many. We should have. We've got a lot of good talent in the UK.
We do, and I think the reason for that is the level of competition we do have in the UK. We run a lot of what we like to call UK Skydiving League. We do have a little league where you do have competitions at different drop zones around the country. Those dates are announced very early on in the season, so teams can prepare to at least train alongside each other and see what their competition would be for nationals going forward. So they don't tend to travel too much outside for outdoor competition. Indoor competition, obviously, we've got three tunnels across the country. We don't have many indoor competitions. It's pretty much the Bedford Challenge that we have. So now is the time that these teams are going, okay, tunnels are more accessible. Europe's, it's not too far to get to, so we'll go and put ourselves on the world stage. This is a Papeo Masculino. So this is the number 1 team for Spain, for the military team. And these guys are definitely outscoring the Papeo Mixto. So this is Papeo Masculino. They scored 16 on round 6. It's a pretty good score for them, actually. Definitely outscoring Papeo Mixto, who are getting used to flying in the senior category and just getting to know each other. It's a good round. Good round for Papeo Masculino. Lots of claps and applause outside in the tunnel.
We'll try and get some words with some of the Spanish teams this morning, Ray. We are here in Spain, and it'd be good to get a bit of Spanish pumped out. I'll try and grab their attention as they leave.
You're going to do some. You're going to speak in Spanish as well, Regan.
Well, I'll do a little bit.
They're just on their way out. You should be running around, have a chat with them.
Papaya. Sorry, go on then. Go ahead, Ray.
Just saying the scores are in for round 6. Airspeed actually pipped Hayabusa by 1 point on that round.
So Papaya have just left the tunnel after their round, and they're here with the other Papaya team, and the coach is here as well. Let's get poco palabras en español para gente mira the live stream en español. Buenos días todos.
Buenos días.
¿Qué tal? Bien.
Muy bien, pasándolo fenomenal aquí en Ampuria.
¿Cuántos equipos aquí para España? ¿2 o 3?
2.
2. ¿Dónde están otros?
Bueno, de España somos 3, 2 militares y 1 civil.
Y muchos turnos de vientos hay ahora en España también, ¿no?
Sí, 3 en Madrid, en la Ampuria Brava y más en proyectos de construcción.
Pero nosotros practicamos en Murcia, ¿sí? ¿Sí o no?
Sí, trabajamos en la base aérea de Alcantarilla, en Murcia.
Yo nunca he visto este turno de viento. Nunca he visto yo.
En Murcia tenemos otro, pero ahora no funciona.
No posible para público, ¿no?
No, solo militar.
Yo no me retiro, no, solo público. Gracias, ¿eh?
Muchas gracias a ti. Hasta luego.
Back to you, Ray.
In the tunnel, we have Wimby. I cannot remember the final name of this Wimby. This is the Italian Wimby team. Wimby Legion. Just remembered. Next in, we have Airheads from Switzerland. And their round 6 score isn't up quite yet. I'm looking forward to seeing how they score. Making short shrift of those 14s. Look good. Close of the 11. Top of the 3. 14, oh, not as good as the first page. You can sense some confidence in the Airheads team. I need to make sure that they remember it's a 10-round meet, not a 5-round meet. So I was hoping that we still see a few not as clean they're flying today. A couple of on and off grips, not very synchronous here. Probably out of time, but still some fist pumps as they get out of the door.
Oh, it's a beautiful day outside now, Ray. It's really warming up, isn't it? We've got the heating on as well, I think, so we're getting a little bit warmer. How are you feeling? Okay.
It's a wee bit chilly just by the door.
It is, isn't it? Very good morning to people watching on the live stream. Kevin McCarthy's joined us. I think he's in Thailand right now. I think Kevin did a lot of skydives last year. I think he did, 1,800 in 2 months or something, 3 months or something like that. Crazy amount of jumps. Kevin used to work down here in Pure Bravo with his AFF school with Pete Allen from the Simpson days back in the 1880s. Sorry, 1980s.
Yeah, this is it. Hi Kev, how you doing? So,
any big surprises so far this morning, Ray? Everything running to form, or anything upsetting a little bit?
I think as we saw from that round 6, at least talking about the top teams, I said airspeed looked super fast. They're showing their execution on triple blockers is, I think they must be drilling this right now. They must be in that stage of their training because they look fantastic. They tied on the last triple blocker we had on round 3 with Hayabusa, and on round 6 that we've just seen, they actually beat Hayabusa by 1 point. So, so we have Hayabusa on 23 points for that round, Arizona Airspeed on 24, and Realfly Sion on 22. Qatar Tigers 19 and IFS Moscow on 21, so they're closing the gap on the Qatar Tigers.
Now, I think we're going to be... Is it the end of this round, Ray? We're going to be going into another repeat of the VFS. Is it the end of this round we're going to do that? Or is it going to be the end of the formation skydiving for the morning? I think it's at the end of this morning's, isn't it? Because we had a bit of a video problem on the round 1 of VFS.
Yeah, there were some issues with the camera, so the judges probably couldn't see what they needed to judge it. So we're just going to have a repeat of all 3 teams at the end of the formation of VFS.
If you just joined us on the live stream, check out this talent. These young flyers here, the Monaco team, the 13 years of age, are they kind of average?
Yeah, 13 to 15. These guys, it is amazing to see. I mean, we look at them and we think, oh, they don't need to be in the junior category. But I love that. Slight hesitation there, and both the centres were like, no, you need to go that way. It's great. Very mature team as well. They are, I believe, sponsored by the Aerocart Tunnels, which is good to see that this is happening, and it's happening more in the UK as well now, Regan. We've got some...
It's about time the UK got behind the juniors. What they're happening, what's going on? Tell us a bit about it.
I mean, I think it's just a case of we've just not seen the need, but I think more and more tunnels now, like Bedford, I know they've got a little young academy going. I know that iFly do have one going, especially in Basingstoke. I see the young flyers coming in. And we've got a young flyer and family here from the UK, from Basingstoke here, Emily King. She's just come to. She's a freestyler, and she's just come to witness her first competition. So she's here with her family.
Okay, but she's not competing, no?
She won't be competing this year, but I think she's thinking about it for next year.
All right, Monaco now with these champions of the past, and a young guy in there as well.
Yes. So they're freshening it up, as I like to call it. Getting some young blood into the team with fresh suits, fresh helmets. We saw the helmets, I think, last year, and probably the suits as well. But they're flying with much more energy, more invigorated, not relying on past skills. They're obviously getting up some updates to block technique and how to do things, and it's working really well for them.
Kirsten Little's watching out in Alaska. Kevin McCarthy, Elizabeth. I'm really struggling with Elizabeth's surname. It's Jansitsky, I think it is. I'm not very good with that surname. What do you think? Jenchinsky?
I think it's Jachinsky.
Jachinsky, yeah.
Let me just try that one more time. Jachinsky.
Yes. Tell me. She'll certainly tell me.
And that's the end of the round for Monaco.
The Christmas raffle at the Boogie, she came, I asked her to come and join me to pick out a winning ticket. She picked her own ticket out and won the goodie bag. I'm sure she must have cheated, but I'm sure she didn't.
I'm not sure about that. She must have cheated. Let us know, Elizabeth Jachinsky, whether you cheated or not.
She can't, there's no way she could have done really, because she put her hand in and pulled out, unless she had some kind of sleight of hand magic with a ticket in her. I don't know what she was doing.
This poor random viewer, Elizabeth Jachinsky, watching at home. Regan's just accusing you of cheating.
No, I'm not. No.
Defend yourself.
Ray said that. Jetpacks are in.
Jetmax from Belgium doing a really good job here. They're currently on just under a 26 average after 6 rounds. They'll be pleased with that. Yeah, so it's one of these things we're not seeing. We had some very fast rounds in rounds 4 and 5, and it slowed down a little bit because of the fact that we've got 2 triple blockers on these rounds. But we just witnessed from Airspeed and Hayabusa that Airspeed gave us a masterclass on the triple blocker there, and they edged 1 point in front of Hayabusa. It's a long way to come back, 9 points. We've not got the fastest round, so we'll see what happens with round 8. It could prove to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's a full long day of action. It's going to be 12, 13, 14 hours today as we get through all the different events here and on Pure Bravo at the Wing Games 2018.
Yeah, it's we always say watching the FS in the morning, and then I'm hooked to watching everything that happens in the afternoon. I don't want to miss any of the action as I have the access in the tunnel. So it does make for very long days. I know you had a very long day yourself there, Regan. And we have XL getting ready into the tunnel. Everybody has a variation on this entrance into the tunnel. XL have made that look really good. Nice team speed on the 14s. They're not really pushing it for speed here, XL. They've just formed as a team, so they're just trying to fly together to know how each of them fly, how they react in competition with a new team member on the lineup. So this is good to see. It takes a lot of maturity to know that you can go really fast, but you just want to slow it down to reform the team, and this is what they're doing. There we go, Peter Taffmather. Looking good, he seems pleased with that. A nice slow-mo of the close of block 13. No, sorry, block 3.
Just been having a look out there on the tunnel floor, Ray. All the competitors are watching intently what's going on. Even the ones that have already flown, that are out of the antechamber, they're still stood around the glass. It's getting busy out there.
That's good. So, and as we suspected, at the moment we have Gavroche Wimby in the tunnel. And they scored 17 on that round. And because it's a triple blocker, we're going to get a lot of teams scoring very similar points. So we have 5 teams on 17 points on round 6. And we're going to see the same, I imagine, for round 7. Another triple blocker. You can't eke too much out of it because, again, it's 3 blocks you have to work through the skydive. Through the dive, and you have to also, you can't make or lose too many points out of it if you're clean and you execute correctly.
Overnight score for Gabai's Wimby 152, just 1 point behind IFS Moscow there, 153 the overnight score.
Yeah, it's tight there, It's what is it now? Gavroche Wimby 169. Yeah, it's really tight between 5th and 8th place. There's only like 5 points in it. And I think, this draw, it's an interesting draw in the sense that, some of the slot switches are on the one piece and not on the other piece. So you're looking at very different pictures as the round progresses on different pages. And that probably suits some of these kind of pickup teams, that are just forming. They're like, well, they haven't really trained the pictures anyway. So for them, they just go and they just go and fly. So that's why we're getting, a nice bunch up in the middle as well of similar scores.
Tenanine now in the tunnel. They've got their sports physio watching intently from the outside. Overnight score of 118, above Jetmax on 112 and just behind Papia Masculino 123, Ray.
Yeah, they're looking good, Tenanine. Have at least a couple of player coaches in there with Marcial and Marco. We're also having Dave from Hayabusa just doing the top overview of just watching how it all comes together, which is really good for both Marco and Marcial. They can learn a few tips, pointers, and also, you don't always see things from the outside when you're flying it in the middle. So it's good to see.
Yeah, we're going to see Dave from Hayabusa there, just keeping his eye on the action from outside the tunnel like everybody else is here this morning.
Really good. They're pleased with that. Look at that. Smiles and high fives all round. Good job, Tenanine.
If you just joined us on the live stream, a very good morning. It's the third and final day of the action here in Ampere Brava, Spain with Win Games 2018. 3-day event and big, long action yesterday. Almost 16 hours we were live to the world with all these disciplines, with the solo speed, what incredible action that was, in the two-way, in the four-way, in the VFS, and the freestyle junior and open. Here's Team Amnesia in the door, ready to go, Ray Ahmed.
And they're ready. Team from Italy, been getting lots. That's nice and quick. 3 out the door. I don't even think the tail was flying in the wind, which was very much a Hayabusa style entrance I've seen before. As Dave from Hayabusa is coaching these guys, and their flying is improving. They really take their training very seriously, have very ambitious, lofty goals, and it's good to see they're flying really well.
Overnight score of 146. Remember, you can check out all the scores on the Facebook page of the event, which is the Win Games community, and of course on the internet, which is window-realfly.com.
This is great. Great flying from Amnesia. Amnesia are currently in 9th place. They scored 17 along with 5 other teams on round 6. And they're currently around that 30, just below a 30 average. My maths is going down now because we've just done 6 rounds, and I'm not very good at dividing by 6.
It's formation skydiving all morning long here. We've got the VFS, the open category, the female. This afternoon we're going to be finishing up all the other categories, junior and open in freestyle, solo speed, two-way dynamic, with the getting down to the semi-finals there, and the four-way speed as well. Stick around, we've got a full team of the best commentators in the world. Ray Ahmed here right now, and then Leslie Gale and Dominic Keisha and Emma Scrivener will be here this afternoon.
Oh, it's going to be exciting this afternoon. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, we always are. Next up.
Next in, we should have the Wimby teams. Confused as to what I'm seeing. The blue helmets. I will get there. Oh, sorry. No? Maybe. I'll be corrected. No, this is a real Fly Sion team, of course. This is a French Open team. They scored 22 points on round 6. I'll be pleased with that.
Overnight score of 167. 7 points in front of Qatar Tigers and 7 points behind Arizona Airspeed at the top there with Hayabusa and Airspeed. 10 points difference between those teams.
Yeah. These guys have, again, the French outdoor team, but they don't differentiate between, they have done for a little while, but I don't think they will be the top French team, I imagine, at this competition, and will be concentrating on the Open, so for Australia for this year. At the Gold Coast, quite looking forward to watching that, but it'll be in a different time zone.
So Qatar Tigers now lining up there, 160 points overnight, and they are, 4 points ahead of the Airheads and 7 points behind Real Fly Sion. Here they go. They always seem to kind of use that left-hand corner of the tunnel
Yeah.
there, right? They're only small competitors.
Yeah, they're tiny. I mean, these guys generally like they look like a very small petite team. I think just the nature of this block that's being launched in the tunnel, block 3, because you have a 3-piece and a solo flyer in the points. It has a natural tendency to just stick to the corners because you want to come in as a 3 and give the best opportunity for the solo flyer to fly. So you try and put the solo flyer on the outside for the into the airflow for the entrance, but that means you can also leave the 3-piece just stuck by the door. And we're seeing that from a few teams coming through. So you want to get it off to a really good start.
Nice round of applause from the audience watching here at Window in Ampura Brava, Spain. This iconic location of outdoor skydiving events from the mid-1980s. Skydiving Pura Brava right behind us now. They've just opened after their little 2-week winter break, and it's the third and final day of the Wing Games 2018. Now, this iconic team from America, Arizona Airspeed, been going for a long time with many different lineups, Ray. Overnight score of 174.
It's great. I mean, this is another triple blocker, so let's see if SB give us another masterclass, or indeed give Hayabusa a masterclass on how to run a triple blocker.
Yeah, they took the last round by 3 points, 51 for Airspeed, and Hayabusa with a 54.
That's right. And here we go. Oh, that was close.
Let's have a look at these block 11s, Ray.
Yeah, so this is a block 11. Make it look really easy. They're just walking it across the front piece, across the over the top of the back piece. They're making it look really easy. I'm just sure I might have seen one bust there on the second or third page from Airspeed. It's hard, you know, the top of the 3, the point flyer really wants to get moving and get going, but you've got to make sure that the grips are all there. Tail has grips here, as we can see. Sometimes there can be some confusion as to whether the grips on the back piece are all there. That's good showing from Airspeed.
Next up, Ray, undisputed outdoor and indoor champions of the world from Fallway. 25 indoor championships for this team, undefeated. Can you believe it?
No, no, I can't. I mean, I think if there's some magical numbers that we'll come out with later of how many events Hayabusa have won indoors and outdoors. So that's amazing out the door. You know, I think I'm not sure they're listening to me at all, but you know, keep saying that SB is showing them masterclass in 3 triple blockers, and they're showing us how it should be done now. Look at how quickly they spin on that front of that point. Oh dear. Just a little bit of hesitation on the top of that 14. Go. They're so light on the grips as well, though. You know, you really feel that they work so well as a team. I mean, I've done a lot of 2-on-2 with Dennis and Haroon, Bob and Bambi, as I like to call them, and you know, they're very fastidious about being on level, not too much energy, you know, not too grip hungry.
Yeah.
And it's great to see them flying like that and living what they tell us to do.
Yeah, Belgium military team, and a good little fact actually, Bob, he's meant to do 4 parachute jumps a year for the military with all the military kit and everything else, and he was trying to do it all last year. He was down to his last 2 jumps, and then he got the special news from his big boss, came over and said, Bob, we've had a look at your record. We think you're doing enough parachute jumps every year with your team. You don't have to do your 4 more military jumps anymore. So like, he's now released from his job as a military skydiver. We'll be back in about 2 minutes with the next round of VFS Female Open, and Ray Ahmed and me, Regan Settler. We'll see you then.